Hi, thank you for joining me. In this video we're going to paint a mailbox using acrylic paints. Okay, so for this video what you'll need is some paper. This is mixed media paper. You can use watercolor paper. You'll need your paints, your brushes, and your water, and then something to make some background noise, and a palette knife if you need one. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this dirty water and see if it'll make some interesting background noise for me. My paints that I have laid out on the palette: Cad Yellow Medium, Burnt Sienna Red Deep, and Cad Red Medium. I also have some Hooker's Green, some Cerulean Blue, and some ultramarine blue. Of course I have some white down here. The light, I'm going to have the light come from the left, which means the light is going to hit that side and it's going to cast shadows on this side. So the stuff over here on this side is going to be somewhat darker. And I'm going to I'm going to sort of use the blue right out of the tube to be my mid-tone color. So here, I'm going to make this light. And create a little color harmony here and there. I tell you, my color harmony creating, when I hit that sky, just goes wild. And that's too dark. Defeat the purpose of me making my marks up there transparent. Okay, my mid-tone is going to be straight out the tube, which I'd probably tone it down some. It doesn't look like it's much different than that. And then I'm going to mix a little red, a little burnt sienna, and give me a dark color. One thing I did not do is I normally trap my shape by outlining this entire thing in burnt sienna, because the burnt sienna is such a neutral color for me. It's easy to lose your lines. And I think I want some reds in there. That will show up later. I'm not so much concerned with it now, but I need to get that in. So what I normally do is use the burnt sienna on everything, and I did not do that this time. And I want this to look a little worn and old, so I'm going to add that burnt sienna in there. And give it that worn look. Old, rusty, or something like that. And I did that for it to stand out. I'm going to put some red in there. There, made it purple. And this came off that back part of the cube. And that's how it happens. Every time you add another color by itself, you got to go back in and create some color harmony here and there. See, those colors are already in there, and I better not add any more to it. Okay, so that really needs to dry some. I'm going to come back in here and need really okay, so while that's doing what it's doing, I'm going to come in with a lot of water and this cerulean blue and glaze my sky. You want to work on the whole painting at one time. So where I would normally have that dry and then come back at it, I'm going to just go ahead and address the sky and the ground. Painting into the edges of the mailbox so I don't get a halo. You don't have to paint way into it, just into the edges is good enough. You don't have to go all the way over. Now I'm just covering this white space here, but I'm going to go back across it this way. I don't want everything nice and perfect because even these stroke marks that I'm doing will create some interest. More water, more water, more water. And I think from doing that, I want more ground. I'm going to do this one a little differently than I've done the other ones. See if we have some green left and a little yellow, and that way I'll address the far area first and a little burnt sienna. And let's see what it's going to look like. And we don't want it to be, that is a little too dark. I'm going to put this down here. I want it to look like it's coming, it's sort of on the side of the road. But I don't want it to go straight off. Right up to the post. It's blue. Come right over the edge of the post. Even here. See, so now I got rid of the marks from the vine charcoal, which was okay. That water is dirty. But it is actually helping me paint. It had so much pigment in it, so I didn't want to throw it out because I knew I could use it for something. Because I didn't let this paint dry all the way on this post, it's some of it is coming off, which is good because I wanted to erase some of it. Okay, then I need to dress this all the way on the edge here. And that needs to be much darker, so I'm going to take a little red with the green. and it makes it much darker. Notice I'm not doing full-fledged strokes across there. I'm using broken strokes and scraggly marks. Just very small amounts back there. I want that in the back to be darker. I mean lighter than this in the front. And here, of course, we'll need to address the green. Take some of the other red. Because it seems like I've run out of green. No problem. Blue and yellow. Make green. And I'm going to give it some grass. Fan brush will work much better, or you have to turn this brush to the side and just use the tip. Horizontally, it'll just make the mind see grass. And this blue in here is fine. Not enough yellow, otherwise it would have given me a really nice green. Just making it a little thicker here at the base to really cover up that pole. You shouldn't see the pole down there. There should be some grass. It needs to be weed eated. Someone needs to come out with a weed eater in. But until they do, little broken patches of grass here and there. And you can see some of the blues and the reds that were on that pole. They're mixed in with that. And so it's creating some nice effects in there. And so now we'll do like we did with the other one. We'll come back up here with some white. Not much. My colors are dry. Now I'm coming down around the side. This part divot in, bent in, so I'm coming down around the mailbox. Because that white's going to make it look super chalky, and we don't want that. Right in here, it's going to be lighter. I'm going to put some of that green in there. I really want some of that burnt sienna in there. Right in that spot. And why? Because it's all bent in. And it may show some rust. So let that part dry. Put some white up around this rim of it. In the meantime, what this mailbox doesn't have, and it probably will be on the other side, but I'm going to put it on this side. And it's the little flag.